It looks good, huh?
We edited it pretty well. So
isn't that hard to say?
I know, like edited it.
Yeah, edited it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. My name is Dr. Cameron Garber, and I am here with Body Smart, and we love to help keep runners on the road. And so we're bringing you our Wednesday Wisdom tip about knee health. So this whole month we've been talking about knees and how your knees kind of can get flared up and stuff with running sometimes. And so our Wednesday Wisdom tip is to keep the intensity very controlled with your running. One of the things that I see runners do too often is they run too hard on too many runs. So they're always kind of running just right at the edge of their capacity because they assume that if they run at the edge of their capacity, they'll bump that capacity up over time. What tends to happen is they, instead of bumping that capacity up, they cross that threshold too often and their knees stay flared up and angry and sore and painful. And then they get to this point where they feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't run because my knees always hurt. And that's not the problem. It's not your knees. The problem is your training volume and your training load is higher than what your capacity is. So we need to build your capacity higher first before we increase your training volume. And so how do we do that? How do we increase that capacity? Well, the best way, honestly, is strength training. And so there's kind of these tiers of strength training that you need to build up through. So I would say you want to start with just general strength training. So building up your tolerance for load first. So starting out with fairly, moderate weight, moderate repetitions. So like 8 to 10 repetitions of heavy, relatively heavy weight, but somewhat moderate right now, just till your knees kind of tolerate it. And so you're not too sore. A lot of the time people after leg day are miserable or whatever. So we don't want you to be like that because then that affects your running. So start out more moderate until your legs get used to it. And then really you want to load up the weight. You want it to be fairly heavy strength training. You just don't want to start out there or you're going to be sore and miserable and it will affect your running. And so then you'll bail on it because you hate it and because it's affecting your running, which is the primary thing you want to do. So build in slowly, but eventually you want to get to heavy weightlifting. Once you're building up your tolerance and your load there, you want to build to more double leg plyometric type type training. So it's still doing some heavy weight training, but mixing in a few more plyometric things like hops and jumps, like jump roping, skipping, other things like that build kind of that plyometric or that power and the tissue kind of resiliency. And then you want to build into single leg strength training where you're going fairly heavy single leg and then more plyometric single leg. So single leg hops, single leg jump ropes, single leg squats, deadlifts, things like that, where you're working on that one leg because running is essentially a series of single leg hops, right? Where you're jumping from one leg to the other. By building up that resiliency, both in the kind of the more plyometric or power type training, as well as the heavy, slow strength training, that's going to build that resilience up quite a bit so that then our average run is well within our capability instead of running right at the edge of the capability. So run a little bit slower more often so that you're not always at the edge. And that'll allow your knees to calm down and then build the capacity through the strength training. There's your Wednesday Wisdom tip. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions or you need help doing that, learning what types of exercises you can do and how you can build up that resilience in yourself, definitely reach out to somebody. If you're in our area here with Body Smart, we would love to help you. Please reach out to us. Either drop a comment down below of some things that you need help with or reach out to us directly. We'd love to help you. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, all those good things so you can get our next episode or share it with somebody that you know needs some help with their knees. But there's your Wednesday Wisdom tip. We'll catch you on the next episode.